What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. For today I have a special video for you guys. I'm really excited. It is my halfway to Halloween book recommendations. We're almost there. We're halfway. As you can tell, I am looking forward to it just being fall again. I know a lot of people like the summer, but people have been mowing their grass and it's making the allergies go. I am a spooky gal and I will celebrate halfway to Halloween. It means we're almost there. If you guys need some book recommendations to celebrate halfway to Halloween, I got you covered, so just keep watching. So unfortunately, halfway to Halloween falls on a Tuesday, which is bummer. So I decided to upload now. That way you guys have the weekend to read, because that's what I'm going to do. I am going to read for my halfway to Halloween. Also, I will throw in a couple of movie recommendations, because there will definitely be a movie night, for sure. Popcorn. I wish I had candy corn. I am a lover of candy corn. I know that's a very tough topic, but love candy corn. So first on my list, I have a couple of Stephen King books. The first one being Carrie. Carrie is a classic Stephen King book. It is his first book written, and it's fairly short. For Stephen King, this is a short book, coming in at only 242 pages. If you are a quick reader, I'm sure you could get this done in a day, maybe the 2 days during the weekend. We follow Carrie White, and Carrie White lives with her mom, and her mom is very religious. Doesn't like a lot of the things that Carrie does. Any little thing I think Carrie happens to do, she thinks that God is going to punish her and puts her like in this room and makes her pray for hours. At school, it's not any better. They play tricks on her. When she first gets her period, the school, it just turns it into this big laughter thing. Well, we find out Carrie has telekinesis, and she starts practically burning the town down because she gets so upset. And I don't blame her. You get teased your whole life. Goodbye. Bullies, goodbye. But this is a really good one. And I gotta say, for Stephen King's first book, it's awesome. And of course, there are a ton of movie remakes of Carrie to watch. It's great if you want to combine the two, watch the movie and read the book, or read the book, watch the movie. I suggest read the book, then watch the movie. Multiple Carries. And yeah, that is the first recommendation. Second one on my list is another Stephen King book, and that is Misery. I think this might be one of my top favorite Stephen King books. My favorite, though, is The Stand. I was going to put The Stand in here, but The Stand's kind of a chunker. But if you are a fast reader, pick up The Stand. Read The Stand, period, because The Stand is an incredible work. So we follow this novelist and this superfan. The superfan is Annie Wilkes. And Annie Wilkes is upset that the writer is going to murder off one of his characters. Paul, our author, gets into this accident, and Annie finds Paul, brings him back to lovingly take care of him. However, he doesn't realize that she's going to demand that he rewrite the book so that her favorite character does not die, and there's some weird things that she does to get him to rewrite all of this. There is a scene, if you don't like rats or mice, I can't remember if it's a mouse or a rat, but either way, it was in the basement. It was one of the most disturbing things I read in a Stephen King book. And of course, there is that famous scene with the sledgehammer. If you've not watched the movie with Kathy Bates in it, you are missing out. Kathy Bates, I feel like, made Misery such a bigger classic than it was. And it's a fantastic movie. So pick up Misery. And honestly, too, on top of it, like I said, if you can, pick up The Stand as well. The Stand has a mini-series, and there's a really great movie for The Stand. But yeah, great. Stephen King is a great read for halfway to Halloween. Alright, next on the list I have a couple of spooky, not for the faint of heart, witchy books. And the first one is Maggie's Grave by David Sodergren. Sodergren. I don't know exactly how to say it. I've read this book a couple times, and there are some really shocking scenes in this book. So we start off in the 1800s, and Maggie has been accused of murder. She is pregnant with a child, so when they take her, sadly enough, they rip out her child, and she decides that she is going to put a curse on this town. You want to kill me? You want to take my baby? I'm going to put a blood curse on this town. So the curse is anybody that has a child, Maggie will come back and take this child. So because this town cannot have children, there are very few people left in this town. We follow 4 teenagers present day, and these teenagers find that this town is boring. We also find out one of the teenagers has gotten pregnant, which is a huge no-no. So of course Maggie comes back and she wants her child. It's a very, very creepy book. Not for the faint of heart. There are some scenes that really made me cringe, and it takes a lot for me to cringe. So be careful when reading this book. Like I said, it's very spooky. The story is great though, and it's not for the faint of heart, for sure. It's very gory, very bloody. There are some really awful scenes. But it's a good one if you want something to spook you, during the night. Alright, another spooky, not for the faint of heart, witchy tale is The Witch of Halloween House by Dredrick. Some of these last names are a little hard to tell. So we have another female that is accused of witchery, and the townspeople go in and they burn her house down, and of course she puts a curse on the town. It says they accused the mysterious old woman who lived there of being a witch until the rumors got out of hand and the panicked townspeople burned her house down with her in it one Halloween. She only said one thing before she died: a curse on you all. So now, 3 years later, we follow Carmen, and Carmen is in charge of taking her brother trick-or-treating for the night. However, there's some weird things going on, and children are going missing one by one, and the only clue is a gingerbread man left behind. So, of course, this town starts going into a frenzy again, and insanity starts to ensue, and people start to question, is the witch really dead? So another one that's super creepy. I would say there are some really spooky scenes in here, but I would say out of these 2 books, out of Maggie's Grave and The Witch of Halloween House, I would say this is more intense. So if you want something really intense, I would go with this. If you want semi-intense, I would go with this. Both books are really good. Both books have to do with somebody who was wrongfully accused and curses the town. Who doesn't like a cursed town, Next on my list is something that I had to put on this list. It is one of my favorite books, and oddly enough, it makes me think of spooky Halloween, but it also is something that you could read in the summertime as well, and that is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This is my favorite Grady Hendrix book of all times. I've also seen other booktubers say, I'm not really into spooky, but have read it and enjoy it. If you literally have not read this book yet, stop what you're doing, get this book, download it on your Kindle, whatever you have to do, and read this book. So we follow 2 best friends, Abby and Gretchen, and they've been best friends since 4th grade. Now in high school, they start hanging out with 2 other girls, and they decide to do a little skinny dipping one night. However, this skinny dipping has left Gretchen a little different. She starts to act weird, and weird things start to happen, and she begins to be a little bit more crueler to her friends around her. And the only one that really understands that something is wrong is Abby. So Abby starts to investigate and try to figure out what is wrong with her best friend. And I'm just going to read the bottom to you because I really love this. It says, "The fate of Abby and Gretchen will be determined by a single question. Is their friendship powerful enough to beat the devil?" And I really love that Abby never gives up on Gretchen, even though Gretchen is doing all these horrible things. It's a great book. And one of my favorite things about this book is the chapters, let me find one, are all like 80s songs. So this one's Sunday, Bloody Sunday, It's the End of the World as We Know It, and I Feel Fine. So Grady Hendrix does a wonderful job with his books, and this is one of my favorites. I love it. There is it's like a movie, but I don't know, I guess we could call it a movie, and I believe it is on Amazon Prime. I will look that up. I loved it. And I know most people are like, I don't like it. But I feel like it was so cheesy, like it was appropriately cheesy. Because if you read this, Grady Hendrix puts in humor into his horror books, and it works. And I feel like that type of cheesiness it's great. Watch the movie, read the book. Out of all of these, I would say if you've not read this one, you need to start reading this. And my last recommendation is not really spooky, but is a graphic novel that I pull out every year to get myself into the mood for fall. So that is Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. This is adorable. I feel as if, just like my best friend's exorcism, you can't do halfway to Halloween, and you can't do fall and Halloween without this. So in this cute graphic novel, we follow Josie and Deja, and all throughout high school, they worked on this pumpkin farm, and this is the last year that they're going to work on this pumpkin farm. And it just has this, I don't even know how to describe it. There's foods, and there's just the feeling they're going through corn mazes. It's 100% just fall, and that heartwarming feeling that, the little farms, pumpkin farms and apple farms can make you feel. And I love the artwork. Y'all know, if you've been on this channel, I love a map. There is a map of the farm in here, and it's so cute. It really is. So I highly recommend this as well. I'm definitely going to go through this, start off halfway to Halloween, just to get me in the mood. So these are my recommendations for you. What are you guys going to do for halfway to Halloween? Let me know in the comments down below. What are you guys going to read? Are you going to read any of these picks? Give me some of your picks so that maybe I could add it to my arsenal for halfway to Halloween or the upcoming spooky season. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below so you're notified every time I upload a video. Tool is trying to get my coffee. And with that, happy halfway to Halloween. I will see you all soon in my next video. Bye!